An AEW star with their contract up soon was at Raw last night. Cody thinks The Rock has a little willy. And my review of Monday Night Raw. I'm Luke Owen and this is the WrestleTalk News.
Support WrestleTalk!
Just 2 weeks after Michael Cole did the very not WWE thing of acknowledging AEW and Sting's retirement, he only went and did it again on last night's Raw. As Jey Uso was coming out for a promo segment with Jimmy Uso, Michael Cole said this was only the third time that brother versus brother has happened at WrestleMania. Brett versus Owen at WrestleMania 10 and Matt versus Jeff at WrestleMania 25. The disrespecter Undertaker and Kane, that match happened twice. Matt and Jeff Hardy are currently signed to AEW, but Matt wasn't home to hear his name being mentioned on WWE TV as he was down the road at the building itself. And like most Matt Hardy stories, this one was broken, no pun intended, by his wife Rebby Hardy. Rebby posted a reel to her Instagram revealing that she and Matt were in a box for the show, bringing back her 2018 beef with Michael Cole after he openly buried the Woken Hardy gimmick on TV every week. This has happened amidst reports and chatter circulating that Matt Hardy's AEW contract is set to expire at the end of the month. However, before we all pump our fists and say Matt Hardy WWE return confirmed, Matt himself has said that he is negotiating a new deal with All Elite Wrestling. Not only that, but wrestlers attending other promotion shows happens all the time. Just last week, Bayley, Naomi, and Tamina attended AEW Dynamite to see the debut of Mercedes Moné, with this grainy photo of Bayley taking a video of Moné using her iPad like she's your aunt at your graduation. And Britt Baker would be backstage at NXT shows back in the day. Lest we forget, CM Punk was backstage at a WWE show while under contract with AEW. Moreover, Matt Hardy lives in North Carolina, which is where Raw took place. The difference between the Matt Hardy and the Bayley at backstage story from last week is that Rebby Hardy posted this publicly during Matt's contract negotiations with All Elite Wrestling. If I was a betting man, and I'm not, I would wager that this is Rebby Hardy stirring the pot to try and get Matt a better deal. But speaking of AEW and WWE crossovers, Mark Henry recently said on Busted Open Radio that now is the time for the two companies to work together, specifically regarding getting AEW's Dustin Rhodes involved in Cody's feud with the Bloodline. And while that sounds like a great idea, Dustin isn't looking for the go-ahead nod, as he's already called out The Rock. In a new video posted to Twitter, Dustin advertised the Rhodes Wrestling Academy's 10th student showcase, and also slipped in a cheeky and not so subtle shot at WWE's final boss saying, "F*** The Rock." And speaking of Fs, there's been reports of general unrest in the WWE locker room as The Rock gives 0 Fs in what he says on TV while everyone else has to keep it PG. General unrest, name of your next Star Wars NPC. And it doesn't appear to just be the locker room feeling this, as The Rock himself took to Instagram to saying that he's feeling the heat from Fox over his promos as he keeps getting censored. But this just appears to be The Rock leaning into the reports, as Dave Meltzer has said on Wrestling Observer Radio that the content of Rock's promos are completely scripted and sent to Fox ahead of time to be approved, so they know when and what to censor. Meltzer adds that The Rock being part of the TKO board means that he can get away with more, saying that he has an entire team of representatives that he surrounds himself with who make sure he stays out of the mess. And now it's time for my review of Monday Night Raw, aka Cody Does a Swear edition of Monday Night Raw, in about 5 minutes. The show opened with Jey Uso coming out for a promo calling out his brother Jimmy. Jey was straight up and honest. He misses Jimmy. Jimmy responded that Jey was the one who left. He left for Raw to win the tag titles with Cody. He was the one who left the Bloodline and convinced Jimmy to join him. Solo distracted, which allowed Jimmy to hit a super kick, and Cody Rhodes ran down for the save. This feud still feels pretty cold, and I don't think getting Bloodline history wrong is going to help that. What started off cold but got super hot by the end, however, was DIY versus the Creeds and their new terrible theme. Thankfully, they had a banging match. They went nearly 20 minutes and it featured all the great stuff that has made the Creed so awesome to watch, as well as the PWG-style tag action that Gargano and Ciampa excel at. After a series of roll-ups and near falls, DIY got the win and qualified for the WrestleMania ladder match. Yes, unlike SmackDown, these are just straight qualified matches. There's no mini tournament here. It also means that after nearly 10 years in WWE, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa are getting a match at WrestleMania, which is an insane statement to say out loud. The Judgment Day chatted to Andrade about him joining the group and set up Dominic Mysterio against Ricochet for later in the night, and then The Way beat the Party Girls after Candice LeRae took advantage of an injured Katana chant. They sold this finish really well, particularly Indy Hartwell, and it was way better than last week as it didn't just bring out a random dead brother into the conversation out of the blue. And then Cody came out for his promo. Since he's come to WWE, Cody hasn't really done the insider promo. It's easy to forget that one of his final promos in AEW was "What do you want to talk about?", which was a reference to Sean Ross Sapp's Fightful Select report about his contract expiring in the company. But in WWE, he's just been straight down the line. He's just unapologetically Cody Rhodes. He cries with Michael Cole. He talks about his dad and his mum. He talks about his story. It's all character-based. But inside baseball, Cody was back tonight. He made references to Rock calling himself a heel and how Cody doesn't think he's among the great heels in wrestling history. He referenced the reports of The Rock wanting to save WrestleMania. He referenced Brian Gewirtz coming back and writing Rock's material. He called himself Homelander, and his overall thesis of the promo was a reference to the report that The Rock can say what he wants in promos while everyone else is on a leash. So how did Cody combat this? He called The Rock an arsehole, called him a whiny bitch, and wondered out loud if Rock will show up to WrestleMania with Little Dick Syndrome. It was a hell of a promo, and I think it will split opinions. There will be those who are happy to see Cody unleash and get more of an edge, but there will be those who feel that Cody shouldn't go down to The Rock's level and instead should be above his childish name-calling antics. I felt that it was a fascinating promo and one that got over huge with this crowd who did all of the ohs for the big verbal slams. Considering that the build for this WrestleMania season has been Cody and/or Seth cut a promo on Raw, and then Rock and/or Roman cut a promo on SmackDown, and then Cody and/or Seth cut a promo on Raw, etc., etc., it's nice to see that they can still find promos with new bites to them. Paul Heyman came out and put over that this Friday SmackDown will be different though, as Cody will be going face to face with Roman Reigns, and he promises no other members of the bloodline will be there. You have the tribal chief's word. Cody accepted this and said he would also come alone. Backstage, both Jey Uso and Seth Rollins said they would have Cody's back if he needs it. But here's my prediction. The Rock will be there this Friday for the showdown. And it won't be because The Rock wants or asked him to be there. Ricochet beat Dominic Mysterio, with the commentators putting over that he's now 2 for 2 with Judgment Day members, and Chad Gable had a very interesting chat with Sami Zayn backstage. Sami just wanted to thank Chad for pushing him to his limit last week in the Gauntlet, but Gable was clearly off, and Sami noticed this too. And Chad was about to say his usual, "This means more to him," but Sami fired back and said this also means something to him. He's got a family too, so what's this really about? And Chad replied, "I don't think you can beat Gunther." It set up the contract signing with Zayn and Gunther, where Gunther also laughed because he doesn't think Sami can beat him either. But Sami does though. But does he really believe that, or is he trying to convince himself that? He had another meeting with Chad backstage, who said that Sami isn't mentally ready for Gunther, and he can't just wait for a window of opportunity in the match because Gunther won't give him one. It feels like we're setting up Chad to be the Mickey of this feud. "Get up, Sami, you bum. Oh, thank you. Shoot, please." But just to take a step backwards a little bit, this contract signing ended with Sami Zayn walking out of the ring and to the back through the production area, and the camera followed him, and he walked past Awesome Truth and DIY, who were then passed by Indus Sher, and the camera followed Awesome Truth back to the ring as they made their full entrance. That was all just one shot, just one continuous camera movement from the ring to the backstage area and back to the ring again. Very, very cool. Awesome Truth then beat Indus Sher to qualify for the WrestleMania ladder match when Sanga knocked out Truth, but he fell into pinning Veer. We got a video promo for CM Punk, who said he will be at WrestleMania, and Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins had an in-ring segment which didn't really move their story forward, but was good nonetheless. New Day beat Alpha Academy to qualify for the WrestleMania ladder match, and Becky Lynch beat Nia Jax in a very fun last woman standing match that featured all sorts of plunder. Nia Jax did the "my whole spot" but didn't say the line "but", -5 stars, and Becky hit a manhandle slam off the apron through a table and a leg drop off a ladder through an announcer's table to get the win. She then had a stare down with Rhea Ripley afterwards. Like it has been for the last few weeks, this was a promo-heavy edition of Raw with under an hour of actual in-ring wrestling on this 3-hour show. Bearing in mind a lot of the wrestling takes place at commercial breaks, which means we saw even less of that less than an hour. And 40 minutes of those 56 minutes were taken up by 2 matches. Thankfully, they were very good matches. And the promos in between were also great. So this week's Raw is 4 out of 5. Now go and check out the latest episode of the Monday Night War over on Parts Unknown, where we're playing through WWE 2K24's My GM mode.